Oh yeah. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How you doing? Greetings. Good to see you all. Do you guys really not like this time slot? We got a couple people. We're live on Rockfin. Got a couple people joining on Rockfin and YouTube. Calling. People coming in to calling. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you can join the stream too, Gene. I know it's a little bit of a shift. People are used to catching me at noon, so, and they have, right? We all have busy lives. We all have things we're trying to do. So, we're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and Colin. And good to see you all. So, we're doing a little bit earlier. Yes, somebody guessed in the chats about the sun being the reason for why the Earth is warming. Are we admitting it's warming now? First, let's address the fact that we're admitting that it's warming. Something is different, but it's definitely not our fault. Anyways, I have an interesting video to play around that. It's, it's interesting, slightly humorous. Okay, very humorous. Okay. Oceanic State says, I shut busy out of my life and it has been glorious thus far. Man, let me tell you. That's one of the best things I've heard all day. Yeah, I am personally trying to slow down a little bit. Not necessarily slow down. I don't know. The things that I'm doing, but just slow myself down through the day. I'm trying to slow down, and because I find that just being busy and being ultra just manically busy is not only is it stressful, but it probably doesn't lead to good results in life. I'm thinking that being manically busy is just probably counterproductive. So. And golly gee willikers, it took me all this time to figure that one out. I'm in my 50s, and it took me a really long time to figure that one out. All right, okay. But sometimes I'm a little bit slow on the uptake, right? Anyways. What's up, Andre? How you doing? Cool. Where are we? What are we doing? What are we talking about? I'm trying to get myself together. I'm a little bit scattered. So bear with me. It's a weird time for me too, because it's a different time. I'm used to doing the show at noon. That just makes more sense in the groove of my day. 10 o'clock is not a groove for me. 10 o'clock, I'm still kind of like, I'm doing other things at 10. Anyways, we'll start with this. I know it doesn't have anything to do with climate change. U.S. approves chicken made from cultivated cells. The nation's first lab-grown meat. The U.S. has approved the sale of lab-grown chicken. Do you guys want to eat some? I mean, I guarantee you, if you're eating stuff like McNuggets or, I don't know, chicken strips or some, you know what I mean? Highly processed chicken products, from your favorite fast food place or maybe frozen in your frozen section of the store. if you're eating stuff like that, it's it's probably very far from, or a few steps removed from real chicken. But this is full on lab grown chicken made from animal cells, allowing California based firms Upside Foods and Good Meat. Good Meat is the name of the company. Good Meat. Okay. To offer cell cultivated meat to restaurants across the country. Cultivated meat is grown in steel tanks using cells that come from a living animal or a stored bank of cells. The meat produced eliminates the harm to animals and reduces environmental impacts compared to traditional meat production from slaughtered animals. Okay. I mean, I guess there's a plus to it. The new cultivated meat will be initially served in exclusive restaurants before potentially being sold in supermarkets. Okay. How do y'all feel about this? I think I don't I don't eat chicken for one thing anyway, so I'm out of the gene pool that would be eating chicken, lab grown or otherwise. But I don't know. Do we know the health consequences of this, the health risks? Do we know the long-term health risks of this? Probably not as much as we should. If the FDA has approved it, probably not as much as we should. Global Solidarity says petroleum stimulant to grow. Oh, awesome. This will help the fossil fuel companies sell more product. I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. Although I'll have to say, this is probably the future of food. If you can you keep animal cells? How long can you keep animal cells alive? Can you package up a bunch of animal cells and put them in freezers and store them for later? Can you? Right, because this may be the future of food if we can't grow enough food. Right, if the climate becomes so bad. You guys have seen Blade Runner, right? The reissue, 2049 or something, when they're literally that's literally the one of the premises of the movie is that people are surviving on lab grown synthetic food because the earth cannot sustain almost anything due to climate change, and that may be very well where we're headed. So I know this doesn't sound great. It sounds kind of dark and scary, and not the greatest idea of what the future might be. But they're probably getting a jump on, and they're realizing that it might be difficult to feed all the people we want to feed when crops are failing, and even animal husbandry might not be what it once was. So let's go ahead and grow this lab grown meat in a vat with some animal cells. Maybe we can make the animal cells. Maybe we can, as we speak, right? 2049 is not far away. And, that Blade Runner future is looking more and more like reality. But will it relieve some of the pressure and the stress of the industrial meat farming? Probably. But that's, I don't know, that's somewhat frightening. Let's look at this from Jeff Berardelli. When I look at this jet stream, the word insane comes to mind. It's even more astonishing when you consider it's mid-June. What's up, William? How you doing? I see you got some. I'm looking at your posts and calling. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the links, man. anyways, this configuration, likely enhanced by climate heating, is fueling a record heat dome so extreme that even experts are astonished. And there's another. This is not good. This is not good. Cyrus, you're saying plenty of crops? It might also be around controlling, the food that we eat, and who can get what, who can make the food? He who makes the food, right, has a lot of control over people. Let's see. I think there's another one. Yeah, this is from Jeff Baradelli. Experts are astonished. Yes, obsolete optics. Once again, baffled, confused, mystified, freaked out. Remarkable heat wave across Mexico and Texas. Temps 110 plus. Ooh. Heat index 120 plus. Jeez. This map shows the upper level ridge heat dome. Maxes out at 4.5 sigma. That's a big sigma. This means in normal historical climate, it's basically impossible. In normal historical climate, it's basically impossible. But climate change makes the impossible probable. Yikes. And, this is what, for a long time, for years and years, for decades and decades, people have been saying, well, if we keep on putting, if we keep on putting emissions in the sky, out in the air and whatnot, it's likely that we might heat up the planet to a point where it might become intolerably hot. And so we're reaching, in a lot of places, we are reaching points of intolerable heat. And that is not fun, my friends. Good God. 45C, 45.7C, 46.2C. Good God. Somebody's like, it's summer. It gets hot. Yeah, sure. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's summer. It gets hot. Well, we shall see. We'll see how hot it gets before you're like, oh, hold on a second. Hold my AC controller because it doesn't work. Boink. Fenrir. Typically Fenrir fashion. Global 3.2C by November. Good God. Sea surface temperature is what he's talking about. The Australian BOM model excludes the heating from the ongoing North Atlantic marine heat wave, which to my knowledge is so unprecedented that it doesn't exist in any current models. Again, it historically impossible. Historically impossible, at least in our brief, history. What we have been privy to measure and to acknowledge. This is so unprecedented, it doesn't exist in any current models. This can go much higher. Politicians go, meh. So this is this is weird and wild. I don't know. Where is this from? Climate model summary. They're making a prediction for sea surface temperature in November with El Nino being up here, like continuing to just go up from where it is now. What? I don't even I have no idea how that's possible, and frankly, tis a bit anxiety inducing. More insane heat in Mexico. In world climatic history, perhaps only Chinese 2022 summer heat wave stands at this level. Today, Monclova, with 46.3 C, beat its all-time record again. Hottest day in history for Chihuahua with 41.8 C. Hottest day in history. I guess since in the history of record keeping. But that's hot. The heat is spreading to Sonora, where we will see, hold on, 50 C. 50 C. Oh, damn. It's getting real. It's getting real hot. They're making the graphs all red to scare you. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see it. Maybe they're making the graphs red because it's hot. Foo. Maybe, red, orange, yellow typically indicate heat. Fool. They're making them all red. It's hot. 50 C in Mexico, that's impressive. Yes, it is impressive. Good God. 49 C also in the area of Tamuin in the northeast, and 47 C in Guerrero and Michoacan. Okay, usually I can say it. Plains, known as Tierra Caliente, Ciudad Altamirano, etc. Crazy heat wave like none before. Jesus. Yes, Gene. 50 C is 122 Fahrenheit. Yikes. Yeah, when it starts, what's yes, Osama. Anything red is bad, Edith. Hold on. So 54 C is the old 130 Fahrenheit. So when we start seeing like 53, 54, 55 C, that's when you're going to have a lot of people going like, historically, this has happened, but wait a minute. No, actually, no. No. It's 130 degrees. This, please go back through the, I'm here on the Weather Channel, and I can see that this happened in 1940. No, it didn't. It did not. Maybe in Death Valley, one of the hottest places in the world, possibly in Death Valley, possibly in like Oman, but 50 C is insanely hot for pretty much anywhere in the world. Insanely hot. Even in the hottest places in the world, 50 C is like, whoo boy. That put some humidity in, mix some humidity in there, and that's when you start getting into the old, the part of the graph that's black. It's just, toast. Toasty. Yeesh. That's not good. It's not good, guys. It's not looking good. I was actually going to play you something. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it or not. I was having issues. I might have to paraphrase what I'm going to play, because I was having issues actually playing this file earlier. It wouldn't let me, Rockfin wouldn't let me play simultaneously, have two tabs open and play the sound on one of the tabs. And I don't know if that, I feel like I've had this issue before. Oh, okay, cool. It's playing. All right, so let's see if we can get this.
Didn't have his video. He's saying much didn't have his video.
So this is from Grand Theft World podcast, which I like. I like Grand Theft World podcast. They're pretty strictly in the climate denial aisle. Climate denial aisle. Here we go. I think this is it. But this is kind of a silly. So I'm not actually. They're replaying something from Alex Jones, and so I'm replaying something from Alex Jones through Grand Theft World. So I can't remember what the actual reporter's name is. Greg something. Maybe I'll remember.
As I mentioned, there seems to be good evidence for a different physical theory.
Good evidence for a different physical theory about why it's hot. I just want you to listen. The funny thing about this, just to preface, is, it's like, well, they start referencing, God in the Bible. I'm like, all right, hold on a second. Hold everything. I'll play it. It's kind of funny. But when you start referencing the God in the Bible as your scientific touch point, no. No, that is not science, bro. Sorry. I find the Bible's like relevance to climate change and other things very interesting. I do. I really do. And I find, the relevance of the passage that he speaks of in this video, I find the relevance interesting. But it's not a scientific, it's not a point of data and evidence. So it's interesting. Anyways, I'll play this.
Theory in physics, different model that seems to explain potentially the interaction of matter and energy and fields, if you will, and how that sort of organizes matter and in a very efficient way in the utilization of space and 3 dimensions and these sorts of things. So it has to do with energy and patterns and interference patterns and things of this nature. So there's a lot to it. And for people who are interested, we discuss a lot of that actually in more detail, go over to those sorts of theories in the town hall. So if you want to, again, join the town hall Tuesday nights, this upcoming Tuesday, it's every other Tuesday, but this upcoming Tuesday, we will be on to the town hall, and for sure we'll be there. There will be no problem. It'll be from 7 to 10 o'clock, and we can dive deeper into planned obsolescence, into aliens, advanced technologies. We got accounts for the majority of. Have a little bit of fun with it and see what's going on. Without further ado, let's check out this video.
Contrary to popular climate change theories, the sun determines the majority of weather events on Earth, rather than human activities and their associated CO2 levels. In fact, the sun...
Okay, so he's stating I just need to stop right here because he's stating like plainly as that this is fact right at the beginning. So when you do that, that's not that you're not presenting. He's not. You're not presenting like a case. You're just stating, well, this is what it is. Anyways, whatever. Which is called propaganda, not.
Both allows humans to thrive while also having the ability to curtail our activities. For example, scientists have issued warnings over the years about the potential impact of a solar storm, which could emit solar winds, a continuous stream of charged particles emanating from the sun's atmosphere. These solar winds could cause an electronic apocalypse within the next decade, leaving billions of people without internet access, communication satellites, or even a functioning power grid for months or even years. This week, we were told that NASA's Parker Solar Probe successfully ventured through solar winds for the first time without shutting down, giving hope to efforts in preventing an electronic blackout. The lead author of the probe study, Professor Stuart Bale, stated, quote, "Understanding the mechanism behind the sun's wind is important for practical reasons on Earth. That's going to affect our ability to understand how the sun releases energy and drives geomagnetic storms, which are a threat to our communication networks. So, if the sun can wreak havoc on satellites and the power grid, just imagine what it can do to our climate." Although the Biden administration and much of the entire political establishment worldwide push the unproven notion that human activity accounts for the majority of change.
So again, listen, when you say they push the unproven notion, okay, that is just as deceitful, dishonest, and misinformative as a CNN headline. Right? When they'll say something about, the debunked conspiracy theory about Hunter Biden, right? Hunter Biden's laptop, right? They put that in the title in the headline or in the, first page of the first paragraph. The debunked conspiracy theory, right? They're thought shaping, by stating things as fact. Climate change is pretty proven, bro. But you're just saying the unproven thing, the thing. You're just propagandizing. This is bullshit. Don't propagandize people. It might be your point of view. That's fine. As long as you know it's just your point of view, but it's not. These are not factual facts.
Climate. It's a scientific fact that the sun drives weather events and cyclical climate patterns. Always has. However, they can't help but admit it eventually. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy is coordinating a 5-year research plan to study ways of limiting the amount of sunlight that reaches Earth in order to reduce global warming and stop climate change. But I thought coal power plants and CO2 levels were to blame. Guess not. Even the establishment cheerleader and mouthpiece.
I don't know. I don't know if I should even play this because it's starting to veer into just absolute stupidity, right? We want to block the sun because of climate change. So therefore, it's not because of power plants and CO2. It's the nonsensical linking of ideas. I mean, this is really bad. This is junior high bad. This is bad. This is the worst shit. But people suck this up. So you should really be skeptical of the information you're taking in, even if you think, I'm getting it from a channel that's telling me the truth, but I believe everything they say about every single subject that they're talking about. You should really, really put on your skeptical hat, please. Thank you.
The New York Times asks, should we block the sun to counter climate change? Independent billionaires are obsessed with blocking the sun and lessening its power over the...
I like that. Gene said that his tone of voice gives him away. You mean the tone of voice that sounds like he's struggling to make it through a sentence? I don't know.
The planet. According to Time, George Soros has suggested brightening the clouds over the Arctic with strategic aerosol injections, which seed clouds that reflect the sun's rays. Weather modification patent owner Bill Gates financed a Harvard project which planned to spray calcium carbonate into the atmosphere over Scandinavia. And Amazon tycoon Jeff Bezos has studied plans to inject massive amounts of sulfur dioxide into the sky to geoengineer the Earth's atmosphere by blocking the sun. Although these methods would also...
I mean, the premise of this is just so ridiculous. It's we're going to block the sun because it's the sun's fault. That's why they're blocking the sun, because it's the sun's fault. It's the sun's fault. Dude, they're blocking the sun, the amount of energy that's trying to get it. I see you, Joseph. I'm going to take your call in a second. They're trying to get, basically try to mitigate the energy, coming into the atmosphere and onto the earth and all that would further enhance the heating that we have already started. This dude has zero science in his head about this and is, speaking scientifically, and a whole bunch of people. It really sucks. It really sucks, because this is great at confusing the ever-living heck out of people.
Trap excess heat and light from the sun between the atmosphere and the Earth's surface, the same way that the greenhouse effect operates. Clearly, experts, scientists, and their financiers understand and agree that the sun determines Earth's climate over time. And any attempt...
Just experts and scientists. Who are they? Just experts and scientists.
That curtailing CO2 emissions is just an exercise in social engineering, not geoengineering, to modify human behavior. And if the sun is powerful enough to change the weather, then it certainly can disrupt our electronic infrastructure, sending us back to the 1800s in an instant. The sun is designed to give warmth, power, and life, but it can also...
Yeah, it can do those things, but Bella, I hear you. I see you. Put a sock in the dude. Have we had enough of this? Have we had enough of this? This is ridiculous nonsense. And I'm gonna have to take Grand Theft World to task for this, ridiculousness too, because you guys, might be very smart on some levels, and about some things, but about this, you're really stepping in it. And you're really doing people a disservice, and I really request that you stop this, that you stop doing this without data and evidence, without bringing in science and data and evidence and decades and decades and decades of science and data and evidence, and the current science and data and evidence that shows that something is happening, something is wrong. What could it be? Oh my God, should be the sun. Okay, you're really missing the mark on this one. Okay, I'm going to turn down my microphone. Joseph, how you doing?
Hello?
Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
Hello. This is quick.
Yeah, I got you,
I
man.
just wanted to
Sorry,
say,
man. Sorry.
Oh no! I mean, to your last video and everything. That guy could be the next president. Number one. And
That guy? Yeah, probably.
B, I just don't think I can continue today at all, because half my brain wants to shoot the other half just for having heard that.
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't. I knew that it was going to make people mad as it makes me. Just I don't get it. Seemingly smart people, seemingly people who can connect things together, just go full ignoramus on the subject.
Well, you got to blame the whole.
Whatever.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong here somewhere, because to me, from my position, I mean the whole correlation to only CO2, limiting all other mass and doing, creates a lot of pockets like this. Where if you see something out of whack as far as the ratio of blame, for lack of a better term, but we've talked about solar panels before, and some of the comments on some of Tao's own releases, why he wants to do his mirrors, are the albedo of solar panels leaves more heat than they could ever save, even if all their claims were true, which they aren't because of energy density. Well, that problem of understanding the concept creates the whole industry pocket for solar panels and windmills without a lot of other discussion in the public.
Oh, sure.
review.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
agree.
this guy is a side effect of that.
Sure. Well, and that's the thing is like you know, so people that are in this particular thought silo, believe this about climate change, for a particular reason. Um, and it's for the same reason that people that liberals, Democrats, and I'm sorry if I'm bumping up against, I don't know what you believe in or not, but people that believe that just trust the
I
science,
think you do.
just trust the science, right? So you can't, that's just as ignorant. Trust the science is just as ignorant as I'm just going to make science, into whatever I believe, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally the same
they're
thing.
same coin, different
They're
sides. Yeah.
they're just different sides of the same coin. And it's like, you guys, you guys are doing the same thing, but and it's just on some levels driving people mad. That kind of stuff will drive people mad, like absolutely
It
mad.
drives you mad just to listen to it.
Yeah. Like seriously. And then, towards the end, I stopped playing the video, but then he starts reciting Bible scriptures. I'm like, how did God get into this? Because I thought we were talking about science. And as soon as you brought God into this, I'm just like, all right, dude, whatever. Like whatever you have to say,
I think all those patterns that he may be seeing or not, and this is a totally different show, Kevin, but what triggers me in the opposite direction from just disregarding what he's saying about the Bible is all these patterns that we're playing out in civilization are written into all the scripture, all the philosophy of the ancients.
yeah, for sure. Well, and that's why I found it interesting. I found the scripture piece that he read actually very interesting on the level of, well, uncannily, the Bible has, said kind of true things about, things in the future and how things work on some levels, even if you want to go to the concept of the Garden of Eden and the fruit of, and the tree of knowledge, right? Like, I mean, think about that one. Think about the juxtaposition of that against, our tech, high tech, super high tech, futuristic world, bringing the garden, the paradise of Earth crashing down. I mean, it literally is the same. Is an allegory for climate change. It's like it's kind of awesome, and I'm like, see,
And I think there are examples of geniuses that tried to express that in their own way, in their own paradigms. I'll go out on a limb with Vivaldi's Four Seasons, playing to concerts of the mega rich of the time only. No one else could even listen to that. And yet it's worshiping the beauty of nature and the perfection of nature without any mention of humankind throughout the whole work. And then you've got Milton, Paradise Lost. It's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of all of this in all that, but then you've got people that are going to draw conclusions to their own,
right,
like what you just played.
Well, basically what he was saying was
and
that
the same
it's
is
the sun's
true of
fault,
vaccines.
and also the Bible said we were all going to burn up anyways. So, like, just deal with it. I'm like, all right, but you're trying to, the insistence is that it's not our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. It's just going to happen to us, and we can't do anything about it. Repent and pledge yourself to Jesus. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
And
if
again,
that helps you sleep, that's cool. That's cool.
It completely disavows you of any responsibility for changing anything you have to do. Yeah,
exactly.
Same conclusion. Anyway, someone else.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Take it easy. You there, William?
Hey, Kev, I had to unmute. Hold on a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. How you doing?
Oh, good. Oh, man, one of these days, please keep Joseph on and take me.
Oh, I forget that we can do that. I keep forgetting that we can do that. My bad.
Yeah. I'd love to talk to Joseph. He's right on point.
Yeah.
Talking about, I mean, oh my God. Like nothing else matters. I mean, I'm obviously singing to the choir and citing the obvious. Let's just increase the CO2 levels by how many fold and then see God has no balance here that he created between the plants and the sink effect of the plants and the oceans and the oxygen production. God didn't know any better. And so, hey, what the heck? We're just going to tinker with it any way we want, burn something that was buried deep in the ground. And it's not going to change anything. Can't you explain this to like an 8th grader or no, probably a 3rd grader? You know what I mean? Right. It's like, holy shit.
And you also have, it's interesting because people forget about historical, like regional climate change disasters that have happened through history. Like humans have literally destroyed the climate, their immediate climate around them, their ecosystems around them by the things that they did, right? Like farming, over farming. The Dust Bowl was a creation of humans, over farming and over tilling and just basically destroying the earth around them. I mean, if you want to see the power of humans, there's a good example. Look at the Tigris and Euphrates River, right? The Fertile Crescent. The Fertile Crescent is now a desert. Why is it a desert? Because humans destroyed the ecosystem there. That's literally humans terraforming the earth.
Yes.
And to say that you can do that locally and regionally, or chopping down all the trees in your immediate vicinity, and then then realizing, oh shit, I messed everything up by doing that. Oops. Overfishing your rivers or lakes or streams, or overhunting. We humans basically killed off all the megafauna, right? Thousands of years ago, right? The theory is, and it's true, right? We've killed all the large mammals, the megafauna, the mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers and the big cats and the big dogs and all the things that were, and whales, right? We whaled the shit out of the ocean, whaled the shit out of the whales. That's what we do. And we are really powerful and really good at doing that. Like we have, we've killed whales to the point where, right, where everybody was like, maybe we should not do that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe that has like bad effects on like the rest of the ocean if we do that. Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah, let's pull back a little from killing the whales, right? Or fishing all the fish out of the ocean, right? And
it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
No sense of balance.
Exactly.
Harmony.
Exactly.
You mentioned a couple of things. Let me ask you a quick question before I move on. I don't have kids, but you do. At what age can a child understand these concepts? I never brought up children. Can you help me answer that?
Yeah, I mean, I think kids can understand this pretty early. 9, 10, 11.
I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be scary for them, though. Why you wouldn't want to even try and explain it, though, would you?
I actually don't really broach the subject much, even though.
Yeah.
They're
too young.
It's hard. It's hard. My daughter is around. Knows what my show's about and hears me talk about and ingest information about climate change, so she understands it on a kind of a basic level. But I don't think she understands the implications of it, and I'm really not interested in letting her know what that is, for as long as possible. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not something a child should have to even wrap their head around at all. It's way bigger than they have any influence on.
But at the same time, they're going to encounter this information in other places, in other ways. So it's, it's kind of it's like, having a talk about sex. It's like, okay, you don't really want to like go for that too early, having a sex talk, but there's a time when it's appropriate, I think.
Sure.
There's a moment at which it's like, well, I don't want them to be completely ignorant about what's going on now that they're entertaining these thoughts. Like maybe now is a good time to have this so it's the same with, I think, climate change. There's a time, I think, where you can go, okay, well, since you kind of know what's going on, I think I should fill in the gaps here of your understanding so that you are not misinformed about what's going on.
Absolutely.
But eventually, everybody's going to form their own opinions about it, even children, right? Even a child can do the same thing that anybody else can do, which is like, I see this information and I will either, completely believe it or not believe it or reject it or not care or, whatever.
How can they not? Nowadays, everything's so over sexualized it's in their face from a very young
Yeah, it
age.
is.
So,
It is. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
and they obviously need some balance and guidance from parents, which is crazy how the states are trying to take that away. Even, I mean, if you're not gender affirming your child to where they think as a young adolescent what they know about their own sexuality is because they're being influenced by a social construct that is total propaganda. I mean, that's
Oh yeah,
exactly
yeah,
how I
yeah.
see it.
Oh, I mean, and definitely like uh, I think it's good for parents to be a guiding hand in
Absolutely.
there, so that you're not just leaving the kids completely at the mercy of social media.
Yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned, speaking of the Gospels, real quick, you mentioned the drying up of the Euphrates. That's in the Gospels, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And isn't that something? And then you have
Mhm.
Revelations 18:23. All the nations will be deceived by pharmakia.
Yes, and isn't also the mark of the beast? Isn't it a?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then we have Yuval Noah Harari telling us how those days are over. When you have your own private thoughts between you and God, because
good Lord.
you're hackable animals now. I mean, this guy says this stuff, and you wonder why there isn't a revolution. That just like next time they have a meeting,
I mean,
in Davos, raid them.
We're almost there, and I think, and this might be a really good time to resist some level, on some level, these technologies that they're gonna. I mean, I can't. I actually think that they probably have, and they do because it's already been confirmed. But they have already developed some very kind of primitive ways to figure out what you're thinking through Wi-Fi or whatever. They can detect your heart rate through Wi-Fi, dude.
Wow.
right. They can already detect your like physical like activities that are going on, right? Your heart rate, probably, maybe your temperature somehow. I don't know, but that's wild to me. So if there's a way that they can take those, biometric readings and turn them into, I think they're thinking this, or this is what they're, or they're thinking this because they're reacting to something that they're seeing on social media, and you put that together. I mean, dude, it's wild. It's wild. It's already scary enough that you can't have a conversation without getting ads about the thing you were having a conversation about 2 nights ago.
Oh, exactly. And then, of course, the cameras can see us, from what I understand, when our phones are on.
Of course.
And the facial expressions. I mean, we communicate 80 to 90% by inflection and facial expressions of body language. It's not just what we say. Obviously, we all remember George Carlin on his entendres on FU. You know what I mean? You can't make it up. It's not just what you say. It's how you say it. And
Right.
how it's all there,
Right.
So, and not to mention the 7 words you can't say on TV. But, but yes, I just inflict a little humor in this, because if you don't, it's just one way down this rabbit hole of madness, isn't it, Orwell? I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
We are living the nightmare, Kev. Are we not?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is, I mean, what I want to know is, where are the oath keepers, the cops, and the military people, especially the senior officers? Why aren't they doing something to stop this? The guys on the inside, I don't understand that. Now, I talked to some of them who I've known, and they're like, keep doing what you're doing, but no, they're going to stick by the blue shield, and that's more important. Or no, they take an oath to office of the Constitution. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I think that's a real thing they're trying. I think that's why they're trying to get the robots going as quickly as possible, because they understand that, like, military personnel. Look, man, people that come out of the military, there are a lot of people that come out going, nope, I'm not into it. I'm not into what they're very. I think veterans are listed in the high up on the list of possible domestic terrorists, because because they've been in the military, they've been close to the thing, and they're like, and they're super disillusioned, and they've been in the heart of the beast, if you will. And so there are a lot of veterans that are very anti-war, very anti-government, or what the government's doing.
That's
and,
right.
I mean, that's a thing. That's a real thing. And so I think the same might be, for cops too. I mean, famously, Sheriff Villanueva in Los Angeles, when the like the second mask mandate they did in LA, like during the pandemic,
Hmm.
he was like, "We're not going to," was it masks, something like that. He's like, "We're not going to enforce it." The
Yeah,
sheriff said, "I'm not going to enforce it," and it was
good
like,
for him.
"What?" And the city was like, "What?" The city council,
Hmm.
you know. And so there was a mask mandate at one time. There was like a mask mandate, but he's like, we're not doing that." And so it's, when you have military and police and other, people, firefighters, even, and people in those kind of positions saying, well, nah, I don't think we're going to go along with this. And you could see that. And,
Well, we're seeing more and more of that, I think, and that we need more and more of that, and we'll see what happens. But I think of one guy. I just put some James H. Fetzer, who's ex-military commanding officer in ballistics, weapons, explosives, who you may have heard of. If you may or may not have, Fetzer, FTZER, who's also a tenured philosophy professor, 30 plus years. Emirates. Where was it that? I forget where he was a professor, but ex-military, who's a truther. And who if you don't know about him, maybe you do. We don't have to expand on it, but are you familiar with him? First of all,
yeah,
the
yes,
University of
yes,
Minnesota,
yes,
Duluth?
yes.
And how those people aren't mainstream and how they're blackballed is an absolute crime.
Well,
You know,
and it's, they got to do it. They got to keep them, uh, out from in front of people. I
right,
mean, that's why they're doing a wholesale, clampdown or lockdown of journalists, right? Anybody who's
right.
really speaking the truth, they gotta, first defame them, smear them,
Hmm.
deride them, keep them off the TV. Like, it's funny because see all those uh fake videos they have of like Jimmy Dore going on what's her name? Who's the CNN host or MSNBC host? I can't think of her name.
Rachel Maddow?
No. Well, they do.
No.
Yes, actually, Rachel Maddow's one. There's another one. Anyways, they'll have like Jimmy Dore on Rachel Maddow, right? And it's fake, but it's like Jimmy Dore saying like spitting the truth, right? And Rachel Maddow's just like, huh, okay, right? Just like
I didn't see that. I
they're
gotta
like,
look for
clips
that.
you'll never see because it's true. They will never
Yeah,
have these people on. They'll never have the
right.
truth tellers on, and that's why Tucker Carlson was kicked off
Exactly.
of Fox because they were like, hold on, bro, you're getting a little too, it was cute, when your little anti-government things or whatever you were saying before, that's all cute, but now you're stepping over the line. Hey,
Well,
William,
can I?
I gotta
Oh, you
take
gotta
off,
go.
man.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the
All right.
call. Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the call, Kevin.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I've got some things going on today, guys. So, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and I will be back tomorrow. Before I wrap it up, the very, very, very best ways to support the show: PayPal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, Cash App at Red Llama Music, BuyMeACoffee.com/Blackburn News. And thank you all for hanging out. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm pretty sure at the regular time, like 99.999% sure that I'll be here at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time tomorrow. So thanks everyone once again, and until next time, peace.